What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brutal Planet Comics. I'm your host, Dre, the Rude Daniels. Happy Wednesday to you all. We got episode 5, X-Men 97 to talk about, entitled Remember It. And my goodness, I am going to remember this episode. This one really pulled on the heartstrings. Let's jump right into it. So we kick things off with Magneto, Rogue, and Gambit going to Geonosis, and Geonosis is now being accepted into the United Nations, and it's a really fun scene. Got Nightcrawler back, and it's really good to see him back in the animated form. Good old Kurt Wagner. And the love triangle between Magneto, Rogue, and Gambit, it really gets to a fever pitch as things progress, but it gets personal. Meanwhile, back at the X-Mansion, the X-Men are being interviewed to be shown as like regular people, normal everyday people and stuff. And it's actually quite nice. You get good interviews from Beast and Jubilee, a lot of fun stuff. But somebody is missing. So our Jean is having pretty much an identity crisis after what happened in the previous episodes with Madeline Pryor and everything. And of course, there's always Wolverine to simp for her. And man, he gave her some really good advice about letting the past go and just moving forward. But Jean does something that I did not expect. Oh. Yeah. She lays one on Logan, and I mean, Logan, he takes it like a champ. It's like, hey, you're just confused. It's always been you and Cyclops. I mean, to see that he's finally being rewarded for all his simping, but at the same time, he knows the right thing to do, shows his character. But good grief, this was tough for me to actually bear witness to. But God, the more emotional crashes are coming. Like it's this is a tough one to get through. I ain't gonna lie. Then Cyclops goes on to the greatest tirade I've ever seen. The interviewer asked him, oh, what happened to your son? And he freaking loses it. Well, we're just gonna have to watch it.
Because you're normal.
Excuse me?
I said because you're normal. You're ungrateful. We fight, risk our lives for you. Evil mutants, robots, crazy aliens. I gave him up. I gave him up because you can't say thank you. Because I have to stomach your questions and prove that I'm a person. I lie because the truth is we're nothing like you. Thank God, because it's the only reason you people are still alive.
This Cyclops tirade slaps, yo. Whew. Talk about a breakdown in communication. This man goes in, and I was all for it. This man has gone through so much in such a short period of time. Man, my heart went out for him. Like, I felt myself like, yo, he's right in my heartstrings. I mean, that was rough and true. Rough, but true. So back on Geonosis, the good old Hellfire Club is actually part of the council, which I thought was really cool. It made a lot of sense, and that was really dope. And they want Magneto to be the face of Geonosis. As we know in many comic books, Magneto has always run Geonosis and stuff like that. So, but they want him to be the poster child for the country because people rally behind him. Makes sense. But he has a stipulation. He wants Rogue to be his queen. Huh. And I got to say, I felt myself legitimately getting upset when he said that. I'm like, bruh, you are the worst. But he lays out his plan to Rogue about like, hey, this is how you do greater things and all that great stuff. And you see her actually contemplating it. And I felt myself boiling up. Meanwhile, Jean catches Cyclops having a psychic relationship with Madeline Pryor. It was like something out of like Jerry Springer or something. Like, yo, she busts in mentally to bust up their rendezvous and stuff, and they blow up big time. They once again have a very adult conversation, which you better believe it, I'm about to show it right now.
She's the mother of my son. That's
Eek.
One thing I can be certain about right now.
Do you love her?
Oh.
I love both of you.
Their husband.
And you? You don't trust your memories. Do you even love me?
Ooh.
My love for you is the one thing I remember amid this pain and insanity.
Remember? or feel. Choose, Jean.
Do not spin this on me.
Ah, goodness. So, Jean's having these psychic flashes. We'll get to that in a second. I just gotta move on. This is just a lot. So Rogue finds Gambit and explains the whole situation and how she's going to agree to be Magneto's queen. And man, just the heartbreak and the crying and Gambit pretty much saying like, "Oh, can we always be friends?" And oh my God, it's just uncomfortable. It's rough. It's rough to see. And so we got the player haters ball where they're about to coronate and they're gonna Rogue are gonna touch hands and all that wonderful stuff. And it's like you feel so bad for Gambit, because for those of us that have been around and watched this journey for many years and the old show and all that stuff, you just can't help but feel sorry for the guy. But in the midst of this soiree, Rogue realizes that Gambit was right and that there's certain things that are more than just skin deep, and she refuses Magneto's offer. So my heart pumps back up again. I'm thinking we're back on track. We're about to have ourselves a good old happy ending. Wrong! Meanwhile, Madeline Pryor starts having a bunch of psychic flashes, and then to my absolute surprise, Cable shows up trying to get everybody out because there's something coming. We don't know what's coming, but it's like, oh, it must be urgent. Cable's there, and then he's drugged right back to the future. And then things get bad.
For what?
Literally, a super sentinel shows up and just starts destroying Genosha. I mean, bodies are getting clapped, eviscerated.
Oh no.
I mean, it was, oh boy, that joke was epic by every stretch of the imagination, but good lord. The chaos. Man. In the midst of all the chaos, Magneto sacrifices himself to protect the Morlocks in a very heart-wrenching scene. But then it gets worse.
Could the cause always be in my favor?
So, Gambit makes the ultimate gamble and gets himself impaled, but then kinetically charges the entire Sentinel and destroys it. And so we end the episode with Rogue holding Gambit's lifeless body. This was a lot. This was a lot to take in. I need some levity. I need some levity. And if you need some levity, come on down to Big Lit Comic Con this Saturday and Sunday, 13th and the 14th. I can't even do a seamless transition. I'm all shook up. I will be there. I'd love to see you all. Come see me. So ultimately, what do I think about this episode? My heart is broken. My heart is broken. This was a really tough episode for me to get through. I'm not going to lie. And it's been a while since I've been emotionally charged about something that I've seen on screen. So once again, I got to tip my hat. This show is doing well. I mean, we're over halfway through and it's going very well. And good God, if you're making me feel stuff, obviously something you're doing right. Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, okay, what do you guys think about this episode? Let me know in the comment section below. Did you like it? Are you heartbroken as I am? I mean, do all those great YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. As always, you guys have been awesome. I'll catch you all next time.